If I had been in the arena during this match, this would have been my bathroom break.
Before we get into my reaction to
Warning, my cameras both suck. Welcome to Wrestle with Damien, episode 1.
Monday Night Raw, I thought I'd give a wee introduction as to whom I am. I'm a very small YouTuber that used to love wrestling. I still have a great passion for wrestling. I started watching when I was free, when Hulk Hogan was still in his prime. Then grew up with the greatest wrestler of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Blah, 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 blah. I've attended WrestleMania, but my interest in wrestling in recent years really started to decline, and the last couple of years I've only watched a handful of shows. But in saying all of that, I thought it would be fun, a disgrunted old school wrestling fan reacting to wrestling shows, WWE shows, AEW shows whenever they start doing them, and giving my honest thoughts on today's wrestling climate. Hope you enjoy.
I watched, or attempted to watch, Raw live last night. I tapped out after the second hour. I'll get on to why later on. Raw opened up with a very basic Shield promo by Roman Reigns. Not much to see there. Then Seth Rollins continued the promo and exchanged with Paul Heyman, which would develop into a match between himself and Shelton Benjamin. When the match started, I was still taking notes of how I felt the Paul Heyman Seth Rollins promo went. I couldn't give it any more than a 5 out of 10. I thought it was very average. It wasn't the hot start to the show I was looking for. We're on the road to friggin' WrestleMania, and this is the best they have. When I started actually watching the match between Seth Rollins and Shelton Benjamin, I was starting to think, what am I doing with my life? Up next was Bobby Lashley winning the Intercontinental Championship from Finn Balor. I remember when Intercontinental Championship title changes used to be such a moment, like when Bret Hart made Mr. Perfect submit at SummerSlam Night 1. That was a fantastic moment at Madison Square Garden. By the commercial break, you had probably forgotten Bobby Lashley just became the Intercontinental Champion. So already I was struggling, and I don't even think we were half an hour in. 2 throwaway matches, a very basic promo. Ronda Rousey then came out, and her promo. Now, I ended up watching the first 2 hours of Raw and segments on YouTube the next day, and overall, Ronda Rousey was the MVP of the show. Her promo was fantastic. It was on fire. Yes, I'm skipping a few moments, but all there was Alexa Bliss announcing that she would be the host for this year's WrestleMania 35, and there was a tag team match between Aleister Black and Chad Gable against Ricochet and Bobby Roode. That's one. In my opinion, it was a bathroom break match. My opinion. Following Alexa Bliss's segment, Braun Strowman wrecked a car. How many times have we seen him do that? Big deal, eh? Elias then came out and did his usual stick where he was in the middle of the ring getting cheap heat reference in American football teams I'm not familiar with, so forgive me. I don't keep up with real sports apart from what you call soccer, my football. Back to the wrestling, back to the fake fights. So he was in the ring with his guitar usual stick, and he was interrupted by No Way Jose, they call him. It was a really throwaway segment. Out came Nia Jax and Tamina for their match against Natalya, and by this point in the show, I was rating it a 2 out of 10. During the part of this show, I was doing that Brock Lesnar hand movement where when he like teases he's going to tap out in his matches. Sometimes I was getting there. I was like, I really want to tap out. I really want to have a better life. I really don't want to continue watching this show. But then they advertised Batista was up next for his segment with Triple H, Triple Ego. Love Triple H. It was a very disappointing segment, and I tapped out. I couldn't handle it anymore. And it was after the disappointing Batista segment that I decided this is the last ever Raw I'm attempting to watch live. And next week I'll try SmackDown. Surely SmackDown is better. I've heard SmackDown is better, even though I think WWE still treat Raw as their flagship 3 hours of pure entertainment show. But overall, Raw, take out that Ronda Rousey segment promo, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything.